All right, patrons, in this video, we're going to talk about visualizing holding patterns on your heading indicator, your HSI, or even your OBS if the needle is centered. We're also going to talk a little bit about the 3 types of holding pattern entries because after all, that is where this becomes valuable. If you get holding instructions, you need to be able to see the hold on your heading indicator and visualize the entry and then think in front of the airplane. And sometimes you'll see me on these long length lesson videos just kind of reach over and take a photo of the heading indicator. Often what I'm doing is getting that photo so that when we're back in the flying club, I can load it into an iOS application called Skitch and draw on it, or get the student to draw on it to make sure that we're on the same page. And really when it comes to visualizing holding patterns and figuring out what kind of entry you're going to make, until you can do this stuff in the flying club or flight school or on your sofa, there's no point in going out and burning time on the Hobbs meter. It's all about visualizing it on the instrument, and this app Skitch is perfect for it. So check this out. This is how it works for me. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is a photo I took of Paul in the simulator the other day. He's just on course, and I want to start introducing holding patterns. So remember what we said, you're always going to visualize the fix right here in the center. So no matter what it is, you're flying toward where that little airplane icon is. I guess my X didn't work there. There you go. That's the fix, all right? And you should see yourself as down here on the bottom because you're flying toward the heading here on top, all right? So those are the basics. You're at the bottom, the fix is in the middle because you're always flying toward the top of the heading indicator. All right, so let's back up a little bit. Now, if someone throws holding instructions at you, let's imagine there's some VOR in front of you, and they say hold south of that VOR on the 180 degree radial. The first thing you do is find the outbound heading on the outside, which is the south right over here, and draw in toward the fix. That's the beginning of the holding pattern, right? You're going to be south of it on the 180, coming inbound to where we just visualized the fix. Then they're going to give you a direction of turns. Let's call it, in this case, left turns. Okay, so that's the turn you're going to make. And if you visualize yourself at the bottom of the HSI here, then you should see a parallel entry, right? You should see the airplane fly past the fix, turn to the right here to parallel the inbound course, come back around and get the course like that. So then I would ask, in this case, Paul to verify that using the thumb method. There's another video you can go check out. It's an archive video, a legacy video. I think it's here on the Patreon page, way back toward the beginning. Scroll way down. To verify that that's the right entry, and then think in front of the plane. When I get there, it's a right turn to a heading of 180, start timer for a minute, twist my inbound heading of north, and throttle back to holding speed and report entering the hold. All right, let's try another one. What if they tell you to hold southeast of the VOR you're headed toward, on the 120 degree radial. So remember, the first step is to find the outbound heading and draw in toward the fix. There's the 120. And again, they tell you it's left turns. So in this case, you're going to make a left turn and proceed back out. Now here, you should see a teardrop entry. You should visualize that your airplane is going to fly past the fix like this, and that you are going to kind of cut across the middle of the holding pattern and turn around back to get it like that, a teardrop entry. You could verify that by putting your left thumb over here. It's a left-hand pattern, so use your left thumb, and remember that the teardrop sector is right above your thumb. So that's verified. This is in fact a teardrop entry. So you would then get in front of the airplane using the 5 T's. When I get to the fix, it's a left turn, correction, in this case a right turn to a heading of 150, start timer for a minute, twist my inbound course of 300, throttle back to holding speed and report entering the hold. All right, let's do another one. Let's go back to south. If they tell you to hold south of the VOR on the 180 degree radial, so this much we've got, but what if they tell you it's right turns? What I want you to notice is that teardrop and parallel entries are somewhat related in the sense that if you just flip the direction of turn, one becomes the other. So in this case, if it's right turns, we're going to do the teardrop entry where we cross the fix, cut across the middle of the course, and turn into the pattern like that. I used the LARS acronym to figure out what heading that is that cuts across the course. That's left add, right subtract. If it's a holding pattern, we're always working off the outbound heading, so right subtract. This is a right hand pattern, so we'll subtract 30 from 180, which gets us 150, would be the perfect heading to cut across this pattern. And we verify this. Now it's a right hand pattern, so we can put our right thumb right here at the 9 o'clock position, and like we just said, teardrop is always above your thumb. Parallel would be over here opposite your thumb, and direct is anything that falls underneath your thumb, or kind of anything underneath that line there. And then we get in front of the airplane. When we get there, it's a right turn to a heading of 150, start timer for a minute, twist inbound course, 360, throttle back to holding speed, and report time and altitude entering the hold. All right, let's do one more. I'm going to give you a direct entry. What if they ask you to hold north of the fix on the 360 degree radial? So you'll be flying. Remember, the first part is just to draw the inbound course. That's the first step. And then, which way do I turn when I get there to go back to the beginning of the inbound course? Maybe it's a right turn. So in this case, we would hopefully see a direct entry. So you get to the fix and you just turn right directly into the hold. You could verify it by putting your thumb up here and seeing that the 360, the outbound heading, falls underneath the line that kind of cuts down at 70 degrees across the top of your thumb. And again, there's a video about the thumb method way back at the beginning of this Patreon page, or if you go to YouTube, look for the legacy videos. And that's used to verify these visualizations, and then we get in front of the airplane. When I get there, I'm going to make a right turn to a heading of 360, twist my inbound course of, you guessed it, that's right, south, throttle back to holding speed, and report time and altitude entering the hold. All right, so you should be able to do all of this using Skitch before you ever really get out into the airplane. If you can't see it here when your brain is fully functioning, you're never going to get this with the Hobbs meter running. All right, I hope you got something out of that. That is, that's how I do it, and you can, really until a pilot can do this, pretty quickly, just sitting in the flying club, or sometimes we'll do it via Skype or something like that. Until they're good at this and thinking in front of the airplane, there's no need to go out there and actually burn time on the Hobbs meter. So this is a way you can save a lot of money and get good at holding pattern entries. I'm sorry if you're a VFR pilot, but this week's video is specific to instrument pilots. So thank you all so much for your support. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and you'll be hearing from me with a public YouTube video next week.